Hi everyone, I'm Kristen and I'm one of the librarians here at Manchester Community College, and today I'm going to be showing you a few tips for doing research to help you find evidence-based articles for your nursing assignments. Today I'm going to be focusing on using library resources, specifically two of our nursing databases, and then also MCC Library OneSearch. The other video on your nursing guide is going to focus on open access databases. And you'll be able to find these and other videos on the library's YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel and our other social media links are here on our homepage. So the first database we're going to start working with is Nursing and Allied Health. And so when you're in the nursing guide, there's a link to it right here. You can also get to it by clicking on Articles and Databases in the upper right-hand corner and then scrolling down to Nursing and Allied Health. But we'll go ahead and click the link here. So once you get to the Nursing and Allied Health database, you're going to want to click on the button for Advanced Search. And then here on Advanced Search, you can start typing in your search terms. So say if I was looking for something about the effects of music on treating pain, I might look for music and pain. And then to make sure I'm narrowing it to articles from nursing or written by nurses from nursing journals, I would add and, put in the word nurse without an E on the end, and then enter an asterisk. And what this will do, that last part is key because it's using a search technique called truncation, and by putting in nurse with the asterisk, we're telling it to look for words that start with those four letters, so that shortcut is going to pick up not only the word nurse, but also nursed, nursing, and so on. And then there's a couple of other cool shortcuts I want to show you here. Check the peer-reviewed box. That'll limit it to articles that are peer-reviewed. And then let's say I'm looking for music treating pain in, say, older patients. I don't have to enter anything here because there's a field here where we can filter by age group. Just have to scroll down there, find a checkbox next to what I'm looking for. So maybe I want to look in folks over 65. Just check that box, and I can go back up here and click on search. All right, so we got about 1,100 articles, and there are ways to narrow this down. One of the first things to do would be to make sure that you click off full text. That's going to show you articles that we do have access to. And then the next thing to do would be to narrow it to the last 5 years or so of based on what your professor tells you to look for. So for that, we can just check the box next to last 5 years. And that'll narrow things down. And then another trick is to go to publication title. And if we click on more, it's going to bring up a box where we can actually check off the ones that we wanted to search in. So this is a good shortcut and trick for finding articles from nursing journals. So if we want to include something, just check the box next to it, scroll down, find titles that look like they are on nursing, and just check the boxes next to them. All right, so once you've checked off the boxes for journals that look like they're for nursing, click apply. And then we can see how that narrows it. And that narrowed us down to about 69 search results, which is pretty good, seeing as we were originally looking at about 1,100. Another way that you can determine if an article is written by nurse authors is to click on an article that looks interesting to you and click further into the article. What I'm looking for will appear sooner in some databases, but in Nursing and Allied Health, it helps to take a look at the full PDF. And what we're looking for here are the credentials and affiliations of the authors. And we can see here that the first author that's listed is definitely an RN and has other affiliations in nursing. And you can also see what organizations the other authors are associated with as well. So that is a shortcut, and you're not going to find that necessarily for every article, but it is something to look for. So that's the Nursing and Allied Health database. The next one we're going to take a look at is doing the same type of search, but in OneSearch. Now, OneSearch is a box that lives here on our home page. It looks across all of our databases at once. So let's say that I wanted to do the same type of search here. I could type in music and pain and nurse. Remember, we do nurse with an asterisk on the end to look for multiple words at once. And just the same as elsewhere, we want to take a look. So we've got 1,100 search results. Now we can narrow this down a couple of different ways. One of the first things to do is to go to source type, choose academic journals, click apply. We also want to make sure we're looking at peer-reviewed articles, so we can click the button for peer-reviewed. And you can also go and narrow it by journal title. So for that, we can click on all filters, go over here on the right-hand side, go to publications, and then you could click off on the titles that you want, and click apply filters, and that'll narrow it a bit. Now, there were too many titles, so I just didn't do that. I did not do that just now, but that is something that you can do. And you'll see here, if we go to advanced search, there's no way that I could choose from a pre-made list of age groups or something like that, because this is looking across multiple databases. But if I wanted to expand my search out to include a certain age group, since I'm in advanced search, I can just go to the next line and I can type in, say, elderly, and notice as I start typing, it brings up suggestions of words that that population could be referred to as, so I just have to choose one of those. Click search, and it's going to add that back in to my search results. Let's see, we are now down to 123. And remember, of course, that we do have to narrow down further by looking at the time range, the date range. So for that, we can go to all time, click on past 5 years, and it narrows us down to 42. So we could start looking at some of these articles and see if they work for us. And last but not least, we're going to take a look at CINAHL Complete. And you can get to CINAHL from the Find Articles tab in your nursing guide. Remember, you can also go to Articles and Databases and find it there. So when we click on CINAHL and open it, just like we did in the previous database, we want to go to Advanced Search because there are some great features here. So we can start typing in our search terms. So say music and pain, and while in the other ones I had to type in and nurse with an asterisk, I don't need to do that here because there are some filters further down that I can use. So if we scroll down, there are some boxes that we can check. First one would be peer-reviewed, because remember, we are looking for those. And then there are a couple of check boxes. There's one for any author is a nurse. So if we check that, that will narrow it so we don't have to worry about looking for credentials or looking specifically for nursing journals. And then we can click search. All right. So we got 46 results. And remember, we of course do have to narrow this to the past few years. And that gives us 19. And I'm already seeing that some of these may not be in English, so another thing is to go over here on the left-hand side, choose language, click on English, and that'll give you ones in English. So I have one more trick that I want to show you folks. So let's say you've been browsing the references for one of your articles, and you find an article title there that looks interesting. So let's say this first one here, a perspective study of pain at rest. What I want to do is I'm just going to copy the first part of that article, and I'm going to paste it into OneSearch. And once I put it into OneSearch, I'll click Go. And let's see, all right. So we will put some quotation marks around this to tell it specifically to look for that phrase. And it's telling us that it isn't finding anything. So That's because the filter for at my library is selected, so we can deselect that, and it's going to look for studies from outside. Okay, and it looks like we found it right here. So when we click on access, it's going to tell us that this item isn't available, but you can request it through interlibrary loan. So you could go ahead and click on request this item through interlibrary loan. It's going to pre-populate the form with the article information. Just fill out the info here at top and click submit, and we will work on getting a copy of that article for you.